Hi there, I'm Rachael O'Mara. I'm a Fitpros fan, and I'm an executive leadership coach and author who helps leaders rise to their next level of leadership without the overwhelm through tools and strategies that are based in neuroscience, psychology, and even mindfulness. My 13 years at Google have helped me have a pulse on what it takes to be a successful leader today without the burnout or the overwhelm, which I actually did and wrote to tell about it in the book Pause. That book came out in 2017, and I spoke on the TEDx stage about it soon after. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to sustaining yourself? Go ahead, type it into the chat. Is it getting enough sleep or thinking about your day and getting wound up about it? Do you need more time for feeling healthier, getting outside, exercise? I don't know. We're all going to have different responses, but when we allow ourselves to know what our biggest obstacle might be, we can allow the change to move forward and do something different. In fact, who feels like this a little bit these days? Feeling overwhelmed? Maybe there's like a mass data analysis paralysis happening. The truth is we have all felt like this in different ways. And the reality is it doesn't have to be like this. In fact, when we hold up these two poles, think of it like forces and tension. So on one side, you've got the well-being pole. You've got the pole where you can feel rested and relaxed. And on the other hand, you've got the pole for productivity and doing really great at what you do best at work, what you're hired to do. It's each of our responsibilities to hold both poles, including how you show up. And if we only have one, how balanced does that feel? How much do we feel like we're sustained, whether it's the well-being pole or being productive? We need to hold both. To me, that's what it's all about. And I learned this firsthand. I'm not going to go into my full story here, but I burned out of Google. Long story short, I've learned a lot. And what I realized, if I had learned the skills that I'm talking about today, getting out of the to-do mode, feeling curious about myself and what was really going on and being present, and also being my own disruptor, whether it's integrating daily pauses in my routine every day, little by little, or being more self-aware, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have burned out. I would have been able to keep going and probably even expanded my capacity. And if I can do it, you can do it. So let me skip a couple slides here to just go through what I define as pausing, which is an intentional shift in behavior. And through these three key aspects, navigating your own negativity, we're actually wired for negativity in our minds, getting courageously curious, meaning being curious about ourselves. What could be different? How could I shift things? And then being your own pattern disruptor. Maybe that means setting new boundaries or limiting yourself or saying no or saying yes or doing different things. The idea is all of this can be in service to you feeling more sustained and moving through this so that you can feel at your best, being a successful leader without the overwhelm. The reality is always on isn't working. I know I don't need to tell you this because we've got the stats and research to prove it, where burnout is an epidemic, practically, according to the World Health Organization. 1 out of 3 people are also burning out. It's at an unprecedented rate, and things just can't keep going this way. So how do we change it? The first one is to beware of the task abyss, to actually allow ourselves to get out of the to-do mode and into the more visionary, creative, sustainable space. And here's what the task abyss looks like. Maybe this is you. You think about your to-do list as you look at it and go, okay, maybe just one more email to go off. Maybe there's this focused hyper attention that you feel like you're in tunnel vision and you don't want to stop because that feels really good. And we've all been in that state, right? But here's the deal. If we're in that mode, that's actually from a neurological perspective, it's called the TPN, the Task Positive Network. And we are in to-do mode. We do things really well. But the reality is in this mode, we cannot feel sustained. In fact, we need to switch to the other mode, which is called the default mode network, the DMN. And this space feels very different than task mode. This is the visual space where we feel more inspired. Maybe we feel creative. We are more creative. We feel invigorated. We're doing things that don't feel like that super tactical task world. And we can all relate to this, right?